And that future may be just around the corner. In the small German town of Osnabrück, a group of scientists have been pioneering a groundbreaking new experiment. They've been pushing the boundary of our sensory capability, attempting to give a man an entirely new sense. They've been trying to see if humans can make use of the Earth's magnetic field, just like birds.
So in the beginning, we came up with the idea that you could use the magnetic field of the Earth to just augment the sensory system and just to extend the sensory experience you usually have.
For the past 6 years, they've been developing the Feel Space Belt, a vibrating sensory device that enables the wearer to feel the position of magnetic north.
So actually that's the prototype of the belt. So we did the first quite explorative study with that belt, and it exists basically of a row of vibrators like you have them in cell phones. So all of these green things are vibrating, and at the other side, that's the most important part, that's a compass. The compass feeds its information to the control box, and the control box then controls all these vibrators. So and if you put it around your waist like this, there's always one of these vibrators vibrating. Now this one is vibrating because there's north, and if I turn like this, the next one is vibrating, and if I turn like this, the next one is vibrating. So the signal is going around my waist like this. So I think it's not so important how it looks, but it really works, so.
Udo Wachter was one of the volunteers who took part in the study. For 6 weird weeks, he wore the belt every moment of his waking day.
In the beginning it was a little bit strange, of course, because one isn't very used to have a constant buzzing somewhere on the body. And I'm also a little bit ticklish at certain places. But it didn't take very long to get used to it. After a day or so, I actually didn't really realize that it was there anymore.
The first clue that the team were onto something came when they noticed an important and unexpected phenomenon. Strangely, wearers found it difficult to articulate what they were experiencing. It was a sign something really significant was taking place.
It's a characteristic of senses that it's so specific and so special that it's hard to communicate to someone who does not have it. You can't communicate how it is to see red to someone who has never seen red. It hints at the possibility that there's really integration of new sensory information going on.
In the modern world, there's no shortage of technology to find our way around. But the Feel Space system was unlike any other kind of device. For the first time, it suggested new sensory information could be absorbed without having to think about it.
You might say, okay, you can just have a compass and look at it and then you can find your ways anyways. But this is exactly what we do not want to find. We want to help our subjects to integrate this kind of information in a way which makes it available to them just intuitively. Usually senses do not work, or they do not need attention. So you open your eyes and you see, and you take out earplugs and you hear, and you just put your hand down here and you feel that it's sand here.
After 6 weeks of intensive training, Udo and the other volunteers faced the ultimate challenge. Using only his new magnetic sense, Udo had to navigate blindfold around a previously unseen shape. And even when deliberately disorientated, he still managed to find his way back to his starting position with remarkable accuracy. An otherwise impossible task.
While wearing the belt, it felt like having a new sense, and after a very short time it just felt like it should always be there, and it felt like it always was there.
After its initial trial, the Feel Space belt offers us a glimpse of the future, suggesting we may not be limited by the senses we are born with. The team are already working on a more extensive trial, where they will probe the system's impact on the brain in even greater detail. But it's clear that when it comes to creating new senses, this is just the beginning.
Just the idea that there are more ways to experience the world is just fascinating. I wouldn't say it's going beyond the evolution. It's more like, well, I would say it's just more like a part of evolution, because I would say evolution is nothing which stopped 10 years ago or which stopped 100 years ago or which stopped just now, but it's a process which is going on. And if it's going to work out, and if we are successful with that study, and if we find out that it's working, then it's an important step for science, but also for everyone who is a human being in a way.